Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters.
Okay, y'all, buckle up because this one is messy, explosive, and downright jaw-dropping. We're diving deep into the court circus that has everyone whispering, yes, even the judge couldn't hold back. Jay-Z and Diddy are the names on everybody's lips, and not for their music. No, baby. This time it's about leaked footage, explosive accusations, and a courtroom that's practically on fire. The trial? It's not just scandalous, it's the biggest spectacle the courtroom has seen in years. We're talking intimate footage, shocking testimonies, and legal bombshells dropping faster than a Beyonce album. So what exactly was on that tape that sent shockwaves through the room and left even the judge visibly rattled? Let's rewind. We're in New York City, it's May 18th, 2025, and Sean Diddy Combs is sitting in the hot seat. He's facing an avalanche of federal charges: sex trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, even allegations tied to prostitution. This isn't a tabloid rumor, it's a full-blown federal trial, baby. And if he's convicted, we're talking life behind bars. Not 5 years, not 10. Life. The prosecution isn't playing games. They claim Diddy orchestrated twisted, drug-fueled parties called freak-offs. Picture threats, manipulation, and violence used to trap women into unspeakable situations. And then came the bomb, a surveillance video from a hotel in 2016 showing Diddy brutally assaulting his longtime girlfriend, singer Cassandra Cassie Ventura. Y'all, this wasn't some blurry footage you can't really make out. This was crystal clear. It showed Diddy beating, kicking, and dragging Cassie in a hotel hallway like something out of a horror movie. When the judge ruled that footage admissible in court, you could hear the gasp ripple through the room. That clip, legal analysts are calling it the smoking gun. And honey, it didn't stop there. Cassie took the stand on May 16th. The courtroom went dead silent. Her voice trembled as she read out years of texts and messages. Control, threats, coercion. What she painted wasn't a relationship, it was psychological imprisonment. And the worst part? That wasn't the only evidence.
So yesterday in court was Cassie's first day of cross-examination. So that's where Puff's team gets to ask her questions about her testimony and just different things that they want the jury to be to hear.
Right.
I don't know what the prosecutors are doing. They did such a good job the day before of laying out, what they had and establishing why their charges make sense, even though I don't think that it's as gut-wrenching as they've made it seem from all the indictments and stuff like that.
Now, this clip comes from someone actually in the courtroom, and even they were shocked. They hinted it might not have seemed as horrifying at first, but baby, don't let that fool you. That's someone who's been numbed from hearing disturbing details every single day. For the rest of us, it's wild. Let's backtrack a bit. In November 2023, Cassie filed a civil lawsuit against Diddy, accusing him of rape and brutal abuse. Shockingly, that suit was settled the same day it was filed. No admission of guilt, just cash silence swept under the rug. Suspicious? Absolutely. But now, those same claims are center stage in a criminal court, and there's no shutting them down. And guess what? Cassie's not the only voice. Oh, no.
And then they go into having a conversation about the fact that at one point in time, Puff was calling drug dealers and telling them to stop serving Cassie because she was so bad off. She was worse off on drugs than he was. And Cassie admitted that that was happening.
As if that erases what happened to her. That's like saying someone deserved to be pushed off a cliff because they were near the edge. The math isn't mathing.
So look, they never, and this is why I'm saying the prosecution left their star witness out there looking crazy, because Diddy's team has never ran from any of that. They have talked about his drug use. Yesterday, it did come up in court that he overdosed at this around the time that Whitney Houston passed away.
And hold on to your seats because it gets messier. Diddy reportedly overdosed in 2012, right around the time Whitney Houston passed. But did you hear about it in the news? Nope. Not a whisper. That's how powerful his PR machine was. While celebs are checking into rehab over exhaustion, Diddy's life-threatening episode was wiped clean from public memory. Makes you wonder, what else has been swept under that velvet carpet? And then there's the looming question, why is Will Smith's name being tossed around? Yep, during jury selection, Will Smith and Michael B. Jordan's names were mentioned. Now, Michael B. Jordan makes some sense. He dated Cassie after Diddy, and rumor has it Diddy wasn't happy about it. But Will? That's murkier. Is he just caught up in the whirlwind, or is there more? And about those freak-offs? Ooh, the details are straight out of a nightmare. Picture luxury hotels turned into dens of manipulation. Extended drug binges, cameras rolling, instructions whispered from the corner while Diddy sits and watches. This wasn't intimacy. It was control. And the defense? They're hanging on one thread. It was all consensual. But let's be real. When someone holds your rent, your career, and your safety over your head, is that really consent?
So, according to the defense team and the interview that Cassie did with the prosecutors before she got on the stand, like in the beginning of the investigations, that story was completely not true that she said on the stand the day before that.
They're painting victims as unreliable, trying to play the she wanted it card, classic manipulation. But in the era of Me Too and accountability, that's a dangerous game. It reeks of desperation.
There's a lot of people out there that feel intimidated by it. It ain't nothing but break it down racial barriers, break it down generation barriers. People from all walks of life. Ron Perlman talking to Jay-Z, Jay-Z talking to, you know what I'm saying? It just goes on and on.
And let's talk Jay-Z. Yep, Hov's name is now surfacing in all this. Variety dropped a bomb. Jay-Z was named in a refiled lawsuit for allegedly participating in a disturbing 2000 assault alongside Diddy. This isn't proven, but the timing, the connections, the optics, it's not looking good. And now, suddenly, footage is leaking in court. Intimate, graphic, and enough to make a judge lash out? This isn't just celebrity gossip, it's real people, real trauma, and real consequences.
Okay, so they put the liquid cocaine in the balls and they move it. I seen the liquid cocaine, I've drank it myself, having sex with Diddy and Cassie. Okay, it's not good. He drinks it all the time. All right, he calls it cheap juice, but it's liquid cocaine.
Now let's go even deeper into this nightmare. We've already talked about the mind-numbing power Diddy had, but what went down inside those freak-offs? Brace yourself, because it's beyond degrading. Cassie didn't just talk about drugs or long sessions, she exposed horrifying acts involving bodily fluids. I know, it's hard to even say out loud. But these weren't kinks or consensual experiments. These were acts she never agreed to. She described it as disgusting, humiliating, and said she felt choked afterward. And worst of all, she testified that she begged Diddy to stop. "I just want to be with you," she cried during one of these events. That's not submission, that's survival. That's a woman desperately trying to escape the psychological and physical prison Diddy allegedly trapped her in. And it wasn't just one time. She claims that her first freak-off involved 2 men ordered to do this to her, 2, at once. And Diddy, he was allegedly directing it, recording it, watching it, controlling everything, from the room temperature to the clothes she wore. Y'all, this wasn't about sex. This was about domination, humiliation, dehumanization. These parties lasted 36, 48, even 72 hours. One freak-off reportedly went on for 4 entire days. What kind of person makes someone endure that?
The first witness called to the stand today is an LAPD officer. Israel Flores was working security at the Hotel Intercontinental in 2016 when Combs was seen on surveillance assaulting Ventura. Flores testified that Cassie did not want the police called, so he did not ring up 911.
LAPD officer Israel Flores had to physically witness one of these assaults. Back in 2016, he worked security at the Intercontinental Hotel. What he saw? Diddy dragging Cassie, yelling that she wasn't allowed to leave. And when Flores tried to calm things down, guess what Diddy did? Slipped him a wad of cash and said, "Take care of this for me. Don't tell anyone." That's not just manipulation. That's hush money. That's obstructing justice in plain sight. But wait, there's more.
At that same encounter, he was a witness to Diddy violently attacking Cassie. He said Cassie was sitting at her computer when Diddy called her from the bedroom. When she replied to "hold on a second," he says that Diddy came out of the room, walked over to Cassie, grabbed her by her hair, and started dragging her by her hair into the bedroom.
Another witness, Daniel Phillip, was allegedly paid to perform intimate acts with Cassie while Diddy watched. He described being summoned, handed money, and told exactly what to do. Sometimes Diddy would film it. Sometimes he'd ask to see his ID and photograph it. Insurance? No, baby, that's a threat. That's, I know who you are, I know where you live, don't you dare speak out. And Phillips' testimony didn't stop there. He said Diddy once dragged Cassie by the hair, yelling at her for not responding fast enough. When I say come here, you come now. It was control. It was rage. It was ownership.
Well, now that federal investigators have raided 2 of the rapper's homes and an arrest and indictment in a sex trafficking operation could be imminent, the man's comments sound a little less crazy. We'll talk about it. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime.
Now let's talk about a name most people weren't expecting. Jonathan Audi. Remember him? The man who opened fire at a Trump hotel back in 2018? Everyone thought he was out of his mind. But during his police interrogation, he claimed he was a for Diddy and Cassie. At first, people brushed him off. Crazy talk, they said. But now, suddenly, what he said matches what Cassie and Daniel have described, almost word for word. He even said Diddy would sit in the corner instructing him while he was with Cassie, just like the others testified.
I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot.
Hidden in plain sight.
It's hidden.
I'd had like 15 encounters, Audi said, and it doesn't stop there.
I was like a sex slave, okay? For them, that's what I was. That's all right? I caught herpes, and I came back.
He claimed Diddy paid him off. A cool $5 million, 0 cents, he said.
I had a settlement with Sean, okay?
And later specified the amount.
I've been through all my life. I've had a great life. I've settled $4.125 million with Diddy.
Now, to be clear, there's no documented evidence of that exact settlement. But Audi's specificity, especially mentioning Diddy's lawyers by name, Mark Garagos and Ben Misales, raised serious eyebrows.
And he belongs to that agenda. That's why he's so famous. They land all the contracts. It's his attorneys, which are Mark Garagos and Ben Misales. Ben Misales worked for Bad Boy Entertainment for 4 years.
Garagos and Misales have a long-standing connection to Diddy. One was an intern at Bad Boy Records, the other helped Diddy in past legal brawls. And Misales? He knew everything about them. Coincidence? You decide. And about those drugs, who?
They move all the dope. Okay, all the dope on private jets, which don't get screened by
customs,
by inside the United States. Okay, they move what's called high grade powder MDMA. They move cocaine and they move liquid cocaine in their bottles too.
Audi said Diddy used something he called liquid cocaine. He even described how they smuggled it in bottles through private jets completely unchecked.
Okay, so they put the liquid cocaine in the bottles and they move it. I've seen the liquid cocaine, I've drank it myself, having sex with Diddy and Cassie. Okay, it's not good. He drinks it all the time. Alright, he calls it G-Juice, but it's liquid cocaine.
That matches Rodney Jones's lawsuit, which describes Tucci, or pink cocaine, and similar substances being used at those wild parties. The puzzle pieces are clicking, y'all, and this isn't just smoke. It's a raging fire of allegations, evidence, and courtroom chaos. Every day, the courtroom drama escalates. More names, more victims, more stories. It's no longer about did it happen, it's about how deep does it go.
My settlement put me in a box. Basically, I couldn't talk because I was going to be sued. So I let it be, but they've been following me, and they've had, Mark Garagos has had the FBI on me, has had other agencies looking at me and spying on me, okay?
Now, here's where the courtroom erupted, because the whispers became screams the moment that explicit footage got played. Yes, the tape, the one that had everyone from the jury to the media gasping like someone pulled the air out of the room. We're talking intimate, graphic, and unmistakable. You didn't need context, you didn't need audio, the visuals alone told a story, and it was not the one Diddy wanted told. That clip allegedly shows Diddy engaged in acts that the court says were filmed without consent with Cassie and another man, and guess who that other man is rumored to be? JayZ. Yes, honey. HOV. The mogul himself, he's been trying to stay low, playing it cool, but that footage, allegedly implicates him in something way darker than music deals and champagne toasts. People thought this trial was about Diddy, but now is a trial about Hollywood's darkest secrets. The judge has already warned that more charges could be filed based on what's uncovered in the next wave of testimonies. And insiders say there's another celebrity witness set to testify, someone who allegedly helped Diddy organize these parties and knew who was being filmed. If that's true, then Jay-Z's legal team better buckle in, because this might go to criminal liability. And let's not forget, Diddy's still facing life in prison. The charges alone are enough to bury a career, a legacy, and a whole industry dynasty. But add this leaked footage, and suddenly we're talking about an implosion that could take half of Hollywood with it. So now, let's talk about the aftermath. Because honey, when that tape leaked and the judge slammed that gavel, the fallout wasn't just inside the courtroom. It shook the entire entertainment industry to its core. Let's start with Roc Nation, Jay-Z's empire. Within hours of the footage leaking, Roc Nation's website went down temporarily. Coincidence? Some say yes, but Twitter, X lit up with conspiracy threads saying files were being wiped, web pages scrubbed, and even board members quietly resigning. One employee allegedly leaked that a secret emergency Zoom meeting took place with Jay-Z's legal and PR team at 2 a.m. That's not damage control, that's DEFCON 1. And the most haunting detail? Insiders say the judge asked the prosecution, "Are there more tapes?" And they allegedly responded, "Yes, Your Honor, dozens. Dozens of tapes." The same insider claims that at least 4 other celebrities were named in sealed documents tied to this case, and that the footage that leaked in court, that was just the first. One TMZ source said this is going to be the biggest entertainment scandal since Epstein, except worse, because these people were celebrated like gods. Meanwhile, Jay-Z's team has filed for emergency injunctions to block any further footage from being played publicly. But the court's message is clear. If it's relevant to the case, it's coming out, period. So what now? Diddy's trial continues. Jay-Z hasn't been officially charged yet, but legal experts say if that tape is authenticated, he could be subpoenaed. And if more witnesses tie him to those events, he may be facing criminal exposure. Meanwhile, Beyonce's allegedly out of the country. Paparazzi haven't spotted her in weeks. The Carters' LA mansion? Empty. Their team says she's on a wellness retreat, but sources say she's hiding out in the French countryside with the kids, while lawyers handle the fallout. And remember that leaked court doc, the one listing over 100 celebrity names that might appear in testimony? That includes Rihanna, Drake, Kanye, Travis Scott, Kendall Jenner, Chris Brown. The list reads like a Met Gala guest list, not a witness sheet. And yet, here we are. From glamour and red carpets to prison terms and leaked sex tapes, let's face it, this isn't just about Diddy. This is about an entire industry being dragged into the light. An empire of secrets, blackmail, and exploitation that's been brewing for decades. And now, it's cracking open like an egg on hot concrete. So if you're still wondering why the judge slammed down the gavel so hard, now you know. They weren't just disgusted, they were done. Done with the lies, done with the abuse, done with the silence. And maybe, just maybe, done protecting the powerful, because if even Jay-Z isn't untouchable anymore, then no one is.